Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, I thought we would create a new series. I love pattern paper. I love playing with it and creating with it. But with all the goodies out there nowadays, sometimes I put my designer series paper on the back burner. But I thought the way I could bring in a series, my schedule's pretty full, but I really wanted to do this. I thought if I brought in some sketches, I could save a little bit of time. And then the linking, of course, takes a little bit of time. But if I use some older paper pads, most of them are discontinued. I don't have to worry about linking. So the designing part and the linking part are shortened, and so I can throw in this series. Maybe twice a month, I can create cards using pattern paper. I have like 10 of these bins, guys. I'm trying to find the date on this, but I know it's probably almost at least 8 years old. Very old, but I love pattern paper and I can't part with it. Even every time I try to clean up my craft room, this is something that I always keep because I just love the way pattern paper looks on cards. So I thought if I brought in a sketch, we can create at least twice a month cards using our pattern papers. So this is the sketch I picked for today. I picked it up off of Pinterest. I think it's a Mojo Monday. Some of the sketches don't have names on them, but if they do, I will mention the designer, of course. But I chose these pattern papers. Now these are a lot of neutral tones, so it could be great for a boy or a girl. And I'm going to start off by trimming down this pattern paper so it measures 4.5 inches by 3.25 inches. I'm making a portrait or landscape style card today, so you want to make sure your pattern is horizontal for this one. I also trimmed down a panel using a stitched rectangle die that measures 4 inches by 5.25, and that's going to be my background. With this pattern paper with the multicolors, I'm trimming down a 3/4 inch strip, and we're going to go ahead and adhere this just for a little added color on the very bottom of this panel here. Once that's adhered, I'm going to trim off the excess. Now every part of me wants to pop this up with foam adhesive because that's just what I do, but the sketch shows twine wrapped around this panel, so I can't pop it up. I'm going to flip it over and use my tape runner and directly adhere that to my white panel here. And you know what, I'm not going all the way up to the edge of the panel. I'm actually going up to the stitch line on the panel, so there's a little bit of white showing. Now with these 3 patterns, I'm going to take 3 different size star dies, and I'm going to die cut out 3 stars. 2 of them are gray, 1 of them is a 2-tone blue, and I'm just going to trim my paper so I can die cut them all out at once. Once my stars are die cut out, we're going to create a fishtail banner. I'm going to bring in this orange cardstock. I'm going to trim it down to a 2.5 inch wide strip. And then just using my scissors, I'm going to create a fishtail on the very end here. After I have my fishtail created, I'm going to line it up on my panel where I want it, and then I'm going to trim it down with my paper trimmer. So the length of this is actually 3.5 inches long. So you're going to need a 3.5 inches long by 2.5 inches wide paper here. Okay, after we have that done, for my sentiment, I'm going to use this stamp and die. Well, it's not a stamp and die set. It's a stamp set, and then you can buy the wow that coordinates with it. It's from MFT, and I'm going to die cut out the wow with some Siamese stamp fog cardstock. It's a very pale gray, and I thought I would go really good with the color scheme for this card. This is going to go on my fishtail banner here. And I thought, you know what, I want to add dimension, so I'm going to bring in a piece of fun foam, and I'm going to die cut out the word wow with fun foam. This way all I have to do is add glue to the top of it, and then I can stick down the word or the letters W-O-W. And you guys, if you don't have a sentiment die like this, you can use chipboard stickers. The alphabet chipboard stickers, alpha stickers, would work great too because they have dimension to them. I know some of the Spellbinders kits have dimensional stickers in them. And I'm just layering my cardstock over the fun foam here, and the fun foam that I use is adhesive backed. And so there's a, all I have to do is peel and stick now. Okay, I wanted to tone down that orange pattern paper, so to do that I'm bringing in a piece of vellum, and I ended up cutting the vellum so it's 2 inches wide, so it's going to leave me a little bit of a border around my banner. I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to trim it. After I trim it down to a 2-inch strip, I'm going to line it up and then use my scissors, and just following the orange pattern paper, I'm just going to create the same fishtail banner on my vellum. And I have a little piece that needs to be trimmed there. Now all I have to do is slide it up about a 1/4 inch, and I can trim off the top piece of my vellum, and then it'll fit perfectly on my pattern paper there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and center the O and then add the W to the left and to the right. And I did add adhesive behind there, so you can't see it behind the wow, but that's what's adhering the vellum to my pattern paper. I'm going to finish off my sentiment by using a sentiment in the stamp set that says, "You're amazing." So this could be a birthday card if you wanted to. It could be a graduation card. It could be any kind of just because card even. I treated my vellum with my anti-static powder tool. And now we're going to stamp our sentiment with Versamark ink right below our sentiment. I'm going to make sure it's centered, stamp that, and then I'm going to go over it with my white embossing powder. We'll just go ahead and warm up the heat gun, and we'll go ahead and melt that embossing powder. Make it nice and shiny. And my letters weren't completely dry, so they kept sliding on my fun foam. So that's my sentiment. I think that looks great. Now every part of me wanted to pop it up again, but I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to my panel. So far everything is one level except for my sentiment that says wow. I'm going to adhere my banner, and after that's adhered, we're going to go ahead and take some gray and white baker's twine. I'm going to end up wrapping it around this panel 3 times and then tying a bow just to the right of my banner here. I'll flip this over and add foam adhesive, or no, actually no foam adhesive, no, just a tape runner. And then this is going to go on a standard A2 size side folding card that is portrait, landscape style. I keep wanting to say portrait, but it's actually landscape style. I'm going to adjust my bow. We'll trim the tails here. And you know what? For my card base, I used the same cardstock that I used for my my wow there. It's the Simon Says Stamp Fog cardstock. Okay, I went ahead and add all 3 stars to the right of my fishtail banner there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle with my Nuvo glitter drops in White Blizzard. And then that finishes off my card for today, guys, using pattern paper. I think this is going to be a super fun series, and I'm going to post as often as I could, but at least twice a month. But I want to thank you so much for joining me, guys. Break out your old pattern paper because we're going to be using it up. Have a great day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.